Om Gananam Tva Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamasravastamam Yastharajan Brahmanam Brahmanaspatanas Shrandvanutibhitri Rasadanam Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namah Om Vrishabham Darshaninam Vishvarupamadavyam Brahaspatim Varenyam Om Tadvishno Paramam Padam Tada Pashyanti Suraya Divi Vachaknuratatam Om Shreem Hreem Aim Mahalakshmyai Kamaladharinyai Simhavakinyai Namah Om Shreem Hreem Jyothishya Namah Om Shreem Hreem Medhalakshinamurtaye Namah. Can everybody say after me, Hare Ramakrishna, 3 times. Om Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna. Those of you who notice that I have cold, bear with me, and those of you who don't notice, never mind. I'm sorry for the delay. Today I got really late. Hopefully that gave you some extra minutes to do the homework in case you did not do it. The homework that is a month or 2 months old now. I see that some of you have done the homework and sent mail to the Yahoo group. And just to reiterate what Seshu said, this Yahoo group, SBSE Boston, you should all be members of it, because if I suddenly have to cancel a class on Thursday or Friday, if I decide that I am going somewhere and there will not be a class, that is the list I am going to send a mail to. So it's a good idea that all of you be on that list, and we are allowing various other people who are listening to these audio recordings from various parts of the world. We are allowing them to be on that list, but we are not allowing them to post, because then it will be too much traffic to handle, just like the other Yahoo groups. So they can only listen, they can't talk. So when you subscribe, you will automatically be assumed to be somebody from outside of this town. So if you send a mail to Seshu at the address that I typed here, he will give you posting privileges so that you can also post to that Yahoo group. Like everybody in this room is allowed to post, whereas people outside this room are not. So let us finish the homework and let's get started with something new. Yeah, you can't read Telugu. I have no idea. Was it? So it's larger last time. Maybe? No. You moved a little further, perhaps. Sorry? Oh. But bigger is not necessarily always better, so don't worry. Lots of unique clarity. You do need these unique things to follow the job. Can everybody see the chart now? Okay. So, what was the homework? Bush 2005 and 2006. So how is 2005 and 2006 for our beloved President George W. Bush? Not going to be good at all. We'll take summaries later, but let me ask a couple of you to tell me what you thought. So let me pull up the chart first. And how is 2005, the year that's running right now, which is almost half over? How is this year? So who volunteers for 2005? To give some reading. And remember that there is no correct and wrong answers here. Because everybody in the room may think one way, but you may think another way, but you may be right. So don't think that you have to give a particular answer. Whatever you honestly feel looking at it, if you justify your feelings using some logic, then we will all respect that and accept that. So who will volunteer for 2005? Okay, Seshu for 2005. The data is July 6, 1946, 7:30 p.m. The time zone is 4 hours west of GMT. The place is New Haven, Connecticut. 72 degrees, 55 minutes, 43 seconds. 41 degrees, 18 minutes, 29 seconds, north. The first one was west, longitude. And the annual chart for 2005 was made on July 14, 2005 at 5:22:21 p.m. So that's when the Tithi of his birth returned. So we made the Tithi chart. So we are going to use the chart.
I got 17, 18. Yeah, I think last time we had 26, 726, now 720.
Okay. Maybe. I'm not actually 100% sure which is the final rectified chart. I believe, let's take 30 for now. I think this is the rectified version. 7:26 may be the original time. I don't remember the exact details, but let's say 7:30.
Okay. Because on the website it was 7:26.
Who's your friend?
I mean the job that they did.
Okay. Yeah, I think 7:26 is the official time that they gave.
Something AM, right?
AM.
Yeah. So it's not 7:30.
I think the official time is 7:26, but I think based on the events that I know in his life, when I rectified it, I think I came up with 7:30. I and Sanjayji when we rectified before the last election. So if you prefer 7:26, you can take, but otherwise let's just stick to 7:30. Because with this, his victory after a long delay in 2000, his victory in 2004, his gubernatorial victories in 94 or 95, sometime in 90. All those things make good sense. So I rectified it to 7:30. So let's take 7:30. So the annual chart is made on July 14, 2005 at 5:22:21 p.m. Okay, Seshu, why don't you take over? What do you feel? If you want a particular calculation, tell me, I'll put it up. The Hora Lord is Mercury.
Hora Lord is Mercury.
When the new year started. He is the ruler of the year.
Yeah. And Lagna is in, Lagna being in Scorpio.
Okay.
From Lagna itself, you can say that he is something hidden or something secretive in the entire thing throughout the year time. By his, from the
Lagna is,
point of view.
the moon is mind, whereas Lagna is your action. Lagna is the seed through which you act in the world. Moon is the seed through which you understand and perceive the world. You see the world through your mind, and you act in the world and try to influence the world through your Lagna. So Lagna and Moon are two aspects of your existence. One is doing something to the outside, and second is taking the outside and absorbing it within you. So Lagna being in Scorpio, you said that there is something hidden, etc. That is not relating to how he perceives the world, but how he acts in the world. Okay, go ahead.
And then the ninth lord, Moon, is in 12th house.
Yeah, is it good or bad? Is Moon well placed or badly placed in this chart?
Moon in 12th lord is okay.
What is special about Moon here? He is ninth lord and also?
Is also affecting A9.
Yeah, but he is the lord of a particular house. What is it? What is ninth house for a Sthira Lagna? This is a fixed Lagna, Scorpio. Badhaka. So ninth house. Moon is also Badhaka lord. And Badhaka lord is in the 12th house. Is that good or bad?
Badhaka in 12th is good because the Badha is given away kind of.
Right. Badhaka Sthana shows inexplicable problems. Problems that suddenly come, you don't know why they are there, you can't diagnose. If it is a disease, you can't diagnose it. If it is it could even be some kind of problems because of spirits, etc. If you look at classics, but some of the problems attributed to spirits, wandering souls, Badhaka Lord is always involved. Badhaka Lord can show things that you can't explain physically, inexplicable, weird problems. And Badhaka Lord being in the 12th house shows losing the Badha. So that is a good thing. But Moon is involved in a Parivartana.
Venus and
Moon and Venus are exchanging their houses. So Venus will act as though he is moon, ninth lord in the ninth house, and moon will act as though he is Venus, the 12th lord in the 12th house. So the result of Badhaka lord being in the 12th house is kind of lost. It is only temporary. Moon will give results as though he is in the ninth house, as though he is Badhaka lord in the Badhaka. So there will be real problems. Okay, now go ahead. You are
Then we have two yogas in this.
Yeah, what are those?
Between Saturn and Venus.
Yeah.
That is 4th and 7th lord conjunction in 9th house.
Yeah.
That itself is, that conjunction is good.
Yeah.
Because in the aspect of dharma.
Why is it good?
Because in the aspect of, because 9th house is a dharma.
Yeah.
And in the house of dharma, he will be putting in the conjunction of the quadrant lord will show the effort that he is putting in.
Right. So it just shows the effort. It doesn't show the fruits that are coming because of the effort. In order to get fruits, you need involvement of a corner and a kendra, a quadrant and a trine. So here do you have any trine lords?
We have two trine lords conjoining in 11th house, so that is a blessing.
Yes, we have.
Lord and the 6th lord.
Right.
So that is a blessing.
Yeah, actually if you see Mars, Jupiter, Ketu and Rahu, all these planets are quadrant lords and trine lords. So on Virgo Pisces there are nice yogas. But if you see Cancer, they are not really yogas, Raj yogas. They are just, but like you said, because two quadrant lords are conjoining there, it can show a lot of effort. But it doesn't necessarily show any fruits coming out of that effort. Okay, go ahead.
And then the 6th house is affecting the A10, so there could definitely be some obstacles in a career point of view,
Yeah.
especially in the Mars Dasha.
Very good point. So A10, his point is 10th house is the karma that you do, the work that you will do in the society. And the actual 10th house from Lagna is the actual work that you do. It is intangible. Whereas if you want to look at the tangible aspect of it, when you say George Bush did this, we all have certain perceptions. We all can see certain things that he is doing. Maybe he goes and gives a speech in North Korea. Maybe he says Iraq war is not a mistake, it's a very great thing. All these things that he does, he says, all the laws that he tries to pass, all these are tangible. So the tangible work that he does is shown by the A10, the Arudha Pada of the 10th house. And if you see A10, it is in the 6th house of obstacles. So you see that for all the work that he does in this society, in this year, in the society, there will be a lot of obstacles and opposition. Things will not be very easy. Whereas if you see an Arudha Pada, A of some number, if you see in a trine, things will come very easily. Whatever that house shows, the manifestation of those results will happen effortlessly, as if it was a blessing from the past life or the past life or past years. Whereas any Arunapada that falls in the 6th and 8th houses or even 12th house, those matters will manifest with lot of difficulty, lot of opposition. So your point is very right. A10 is in the 6th house. So there will be a lot of obstacles to do whatever he wants to do.
And added to that, basic is in only perception.
Pardon me? This is not perception. See, let me put it this way. The 5th house from Lagna is my ability, my real scholarship. The 5th house from Arudha Lagna is how people perceive me to be, how scholarly or how capable people think I am. Whereas A5, the Arudha Pada of the 5th house, is neither my perceptions nor the truth. It is the actual things, articles that are on the ground that people can see and use in forming their impression. They are not their perception, but tangible things using which people may form their perception. So for example, if you take A5, I keep giving this example many times. If this house is ability, A5 can be an award that I got for my ability. I may be an actor and I have got an Oscar. That Oscar award is a tangible thing. If you say he's a good actor, he's a very capable actor, that capability is hidden within me. You can't really see it. So that is 5th house. People may think, oh, this guy is a very good actor. He didn't get any award, but he really deserved it. You are talking about people's perception. That is the 5th house from A4, AL, Arudha Lagna. But if you say A5, it is a tangible thing that is supposed to be a reflection, supposed to be a manifestation of the person's ability. So somebody may have got a 100% score in SAT or a 100% score in a very difficult exam. Somebody may have topped the IIT JEE exam in India, or somebody may have got an award. All these things, that award, the paper, the certificate, somebody may have got a certificate from the town's mayor. The certificate, this is a tangible article. So all arudhas are tangible. Houses are intangible, that are hidden within the person. But arudhas are tangible that people can see. And usually people use those to form their impression. Though not always. Usually they go a long way in influencing people's impression. But they are not exactly people's impression. If you want people's impression, take the fifth house from the Arudha Lagna. Because Arudha Lagna is your image. Lagna is who you are. Arudha Lagna is how you express, how you manifest to the world, how the world sees you. So fifth house from that is the abilities of that image that the world has in its mind. So fifth house from Arudha Lagna will show what the world thinks about you. So coming back here, the 10th house Arudha, what would it show? 10th house is the work that you do. But this is the tangible work that you do. That's why I said, he goes to North Korea, he gives a speech there, he says something about Iraq, people hear that speech on TV or radio. So all these things, these are tangible. But internally, Bush may be wondering, oh my God. Bush may be wondering, oh my God, what is going on? How can I do this? People are not listening to me. Like that, Bush may be worrying. Bush may be doing lot of things. All that is within him. We don't see it. As far as we see, there are certain actions that he takes in the world. Those are seen by the A10. And all those actions will be happening amid lot of opposition. Because A10 is in the 6th house of opposition.
What you just said must be right.
Yeah. As soon as I said, he must be worrying.
And 10th Lord in 8th house.
Yeah.
It is like 10th Lord in 8th house, and added to this you also have the...
Who is in the 10th house? What is in the 10th house?
Gulika and Mandi.
Gulika, Mandi. Are they auspicious?
No.
They are Saturn's sons. So that shows basically Shanideva's blessing coming into the house of career. So the presence of Mandi and Gulika, Saturn's sons, in the 10th house is bad. And A8 is there. What is A8? The tangible manifestation of 8th house. What is 8th house? Ups and downs, big changes. It's called Mrityapada. The Sanskrita word for A8 is Mrityapada. So Mrityapada is in the 10th house. If Mrityapada is in any house relating to that house, there will be a lot of problems. There will be death-like situation. And to add to that, the 10th Lord, if he is well placed, he can rescue it. But where is he? He is in the 8th house. Is 8th house a good house for sun? Not for sun. Maybe if Mercury was the 10th Lord, if he was in the 8th house, you could have given good reading. Because for Mercury, being in the 8th house is good. He gives a lot of knowledge, very well-read person. So if you have 10th Lord Mercury in the 8th house, you can justify it saying there will be a lot of ups and downs, but he will be very scholarly and will be able to do good work, good scholarly work in the society. That's not the case here. It is Sun who hates being in the 8th house. Sun doesn't want ups and downs. Sun is the king. He just wants to relax, sit in his simhasan, and then everything should be taken care of for him. That is Sun's nature. 8th house is a terrible house for him. So we have 10th Lord going into the 8th house, A8 falling in the 10th house, and Mandi and Gulika. Shani is the significator of 8th house. And Shani's sons are in the 8th house. So 10th house is fully being hammered by the 8th house related factors. So there will be a lot of ups and downs, and probably more downs rather than ups. A lot of setbacks in the career, in the work that he does in the society. That you can say. Now go ahead.
And then added to this, you have the tangible upfront form indicated by A6, which is in the 4th house. So A5 is totally hampered.
Yeah. A6. What is A6? The tangible manifestation of the obstacles that you have to overcome. 6th house is the obstacles you have to overcome. Inside you may be feeling like you have a lot of problems, lot of worries, lot of obstacles. That feeling is the 6th house. But actually there may be something on the ground. There may be an enmity. You may be arguing with somebody, and that may be coming in newspaper or TV. So all these things are tangible things. Or suddenly I may become angry and go and hit Vijay, and he may hit me back and we may get into a brawl. So this brawl that I and Vijay hypothetically may get into right now is something that's tangible, people can see it. So that is again basic. So any tangible fights or tangible obstacles or tangible quarrels, those are sixth house related things. It also shows enmity, rivalry. So A6 is in the fourth house. So A6 is an Arudha of a Dusthana. If it is in fourth house, that means it is being blessed. It is in a quadrant, so a lot of effort will go into those fights, quarrels, etc. And also it is in the fourth house of Sukha. So there will not be any happiness. His happiness will be robbed because he has to focus so much energy on lot of fights, quarrels, wars, etc. By wars I don't mean Iraq war, Iran war, those things. All the wars that happen in Washington DC. So he really has to, yeah.
So when you say A6 is in the fourth house,
if A10 is in fourth house or A5 is in fourth house, that is good because manifestation of a good house is in a good house. Here, manifestation of a bad house, a house that shows fights, obstacles, quarrels, etc., that is in fourth house or fourth house. So what? Any Arudha that is in quadrant, you will end up putting lot of effort into those matters. On the other hand, if an Arudha is in a trine, the manifestation of those matters happens very easily. Here, A6 is in fourth house, a quadrant, which means relating to quarrels, tangible quarrels and fights, he has to put lot of effort. Which is a waste of effort because this is a bad thing to be putting effort into. Sixth house itself being a bad house, A6 shows all the bad things because ideally you don't want to be quarreling, you just want to relax. So that's basically not happening, that's what it shows. Of course, if that's what you want, this may be actually a good thing. That's why I keep saying anything relating to Arudhas, when I say good and bad, it's all related.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
in the real world, what matters is the end result, whether we win or lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if
Right.
A6
Absolutely.
is indicating a lot of negativity,
Right.
and by its location in the fourth house, that means you have to put in your Sukha is destroyed.
Right.
You have to put a
The
lot of
Sukha is
energy.
destroyed, you are fighting.
But
But
if you win,
that we haven't commented on yet. That's a very good point. His point is A6 being in a quadrant means lot of fights in the year. A6 being in the fourth house means the Sukha is destroyed with the fight. All that is good, but it doesn't mean he's losing. He may be fighting and then winning in the end. We don't know that for a fact. How do you see that?
I just want one more thought I want to complete.
Sure.
As opposed to A6 in A4 or fourth house or the fifth house,
Yeah.
it is that either it is less or effort is needed.
Yeah.
Fifth house or fourth
Yeah.
house. If A6 were in sixth house,
Yeah.
then would it be, I mean, in the sense that you can fight and you just lose.
Yeah. First of all, A6 will never be in the sixth house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unless ascendant and AL coincide, which never happens.
Whatever happens, the definition of Arudha is such that Arudha as a house cannot be in the house itself or the seventh from it. It cannot be in the aspect. So in other words, truth and Maya are never, they never join.
If it ever joins, then you take the 10 from there.
10 from there. So that there is an exception in the definition of the Arudha. So because of that exception, what you said never happened. A6 will never be in the sixth house. Similarly, A4 will never be in the fourth house.
The end result we consider to
A11 will show, you see, good, all those Arudhas have their own role, but A6, from A6 also you can see whether enemies are winning or you are winning. Because AL is your image. A6 is the image of your enemy. Right? So, if you take A6 as Lagna, you can take the rivalries that you are engaging in, the obstacles that you are engaging in, the enemies that you are engaging in fighting with. What is their fortune? If you see, if they are stronger, those obstacles or enemies are stronger, or you are stronger, which image is dominating during the year, that will tell you whether you are winning or your enemies are winning. So further, the thumb rule is, again this is just a thumb rule. Take AL as Lagna and judge the chart. Similarly, take A6 as Lagna and judge the chart. So if you take AL as Lagna, if you want to know material things, material success, what you should be looking at is take AL. Who are in that house? If they are good planets, they give good image. If they are bad planets, they give a bad image. Take the second house from there. The second house is the food of your image. Second house from Lagna is the food that you eat, the resources that you have. Second from Arudha Lagna is the resources of your image, the food of your image. This is what your image consumes to become stronger, to become fatter. So, if there is Jupiter or Mercury or an auspicious planet in the second house from Arudha Lagna, that means you have a very good image during the year. Whereas if you have Saturn or Mars or Rahu, you have a bad image. And thirdly, take the third and sixth houses from Arudha. The third house is the house which shows your parakrama, initiative. Sixth house is the final overcoming of the obstacles. So if you take the third and sixth from Arudha Lagna, if you see benefics there, it shows giving up. If you see malefics there, it shows fighting hard and winning. So, and especially compared to third house only shows initiative. Sixth house is very important. So look at, pardon me? Yeah, forget the GL for now. Let's just look at planets. So if you take Arudha Lagna, take the sixth house. Are there any planets there? No. Is it a benefic house or malefic house? It's a benefic house. It's a benefic house, it's empty. Now, what are the planets aspecting it? Jupiter, Ketu, Sun, Mars, Rahu. More malefics or more benefics? More malefics. Except Jupiter, everybody is a malefic.
But Jupiter also is a marker in this case, being a second lord.
From Lagna? That's fine. It can be a marka, but when you are judging the third and sixth house from Arudha Lagna, just look at the inherent nature. Jupiter aspecting the sixth house from Arudha Lagna will make him fight in a Jupiterian way, which is, I give up. You win. That is Jupiter's way. This is all immaterial, silly thing. I don't want to fight. That is Jupiter's way. If he is a maraka, because of that giving up, he is destroyed. If he is not a maraka, by giving up, he is living in peace. You see what I am saying? So, whether Jupiter is a maraka or not, whether Jupiter is a good planet for Lagna or not, doesn't matter in deciding whether he gives up or not. Because when he seems to give up or when he seems to fight hard and win, we are talking about the image. Because these are tangible things. These are the image. These are the qualities of the tangible image. These are the attributes of his image. In reality, he may have given up long back. He may have said, "Oh my God, this is all nonsense. I'll just go drink a beer every day, and then sleep. Things will happen by themselves." He may think, for all you know, he may have given up long back. That you see from the Lagna, because that is the only reality. But as far as people are concerned, if people perceive that he has given up, or if people perceive that no, he hasn't given up, he is fighting hard, he is hitting back at his detractors, and if people perceive that finally, oh man, he won, this guy convinced everybody that his body is not a mistake. So if you are talking about that kind of things, you are talking about the attributes of not real George Bush, but the attributes of George Bush as the world sees him. So that is attributes of Arudha Lagna. The Lagna ascendant is the real George Bush. The AL, the blue AL is the George Bush that the world sees. So we are talking about the attributes, the fighting spirit, the suppressing of the opposition, those attributes of that image we are seeing. And we better see those. If you want to see whether he wins or not, you better look at that rather than the real George Bush. Somebody may really give up but still win. That happens many times. So look at Arudha Lagna, see the sixth house. Third house and sixth house are both aspected by so many malefics. So that is actually auspicious from the point of view of materially winning. On the other hand, if you take a saint, this is bad. Because a saint's image will be spoiled by that kind of thing. If a saint is seen to be fighting and destroying all the enemies, people may think, what saint? He is not a saint, he is a material person. So like that, when I say good and bad, these are relative terms. It depends on who you are. It depends on your desha, your kala and your patra. The place you are living in, the country you are living in, the culture basically, the culture you are living in. Kala means time. The age you are living in, what kind of age is it? Is it Kali Yuga, Krita Yuga? Is it an age of sins? Is it an age of auspicious people? Depending on that age, something that's considered good may be bad. Something that's considered good in one age may be considered bad in another age. So things change from culture to culture, age to age, and thirdly, patra. Patra means the nature of the person, the qualifications of the person. So something that's good for a saint may be bad for a politician. Something that's good for a politician's image may be bad for a saint's image. So you have to look at Desha, Kala, Patra when you judge Arudhas, because Arudhas are all Maya. And when you judge Maya, it is so dependent on who you are. Anyway, coming back to the point, we are taking into cognizance the fact that we are talking about Kali Yuga, we are talking about US, we are talking about Mr. George W. Bush, who is a politician, who has a lot of enemies to crush or be crushed by. So, in that context, all the malefics aspecting the sixth house from Aru Lagna is very auspicious.
Who are those? I think this person is seven aspects.
Pardon me?
Seven, all the
Sun is aspecting, Mars is aspecting by Rashi Drishti. All the dual signs aspect all other dual signs by Rashi Drishti, and here Rashi Drishti is more important than Plan Drishti. So you have Sun, Mars, Rahu, Jupiter and Ketu. So all these malefics will help him to overcome his enemy. Pardon me?
Combination of Sun, Mars and Jupiter.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Very?
Can we take like because Sun is the king and the RBC and then the Guru both all of these are
You can, but I would rather not do that. Just look at them as Mars, Rahu, Ketu. Mars basically shows aggressively pursuing your enmity. Rahu shows even going to the extent of cheating your enemy, shocking them, doing something that they did not expect.
It also means on the Rahu Ketu axis.
Yeah.
And the A7 being in the 11th house.
Yeah.
Rahu, not particularly 11th house, but A7 being with Ketu and Jupiter. All the people that he is going to interact with are of Rahu, Mars, Ketu.
Right. If you see, that is another stream of thought. We will pursue it later. Let's finish the AL versus A6 part, and then we will go to that. Now A6, we said that from AL, the 6th house is quite strong, showing that he may succeed in crushing his enemies during this year. But if you look at A6, that will tell the other side of the story. Even if you are fighting hard and you seem to be winning, maybe your enemy has even stronger A6. So look at A6 to see what kind of enemies, what kind of rivalries, what kind of enmities, what kind of opposition he has to fight with. So that is shown by A6. Take A6 in Aquarius as Lagna. From here, what is the second? Lagna is empty. What is the second house? It has Mars and Rahu. So is that good or bad? Mars and Rahu combination in the second house from any Arudha will ruin that Arudha. This is basically the house of food of that Arudha. And that house of food is being destroyed by Mars and Rahu combination. So his enemies will appear to be very aggressive fools. That is not happening right now, but maybe it is. You never really know. Right now in the opinion poll numbers, he looks back. But maybe after things consolidate, when a better dasha comes, things can change. But overall, during this year, I can say that his enemies will appear to be aggressive idiots, aggressive people who are fools, who don't have the right judgment, right discretion. That is how his enemies will appear. And now third house. How is the third house? Third house is, it doesn't have any planets aspecting or occupying it, but it's a malefic house.
But third lord is in
Forget the Lord. Now just look at the sign, occupants and aspectors when you are judging this. So it is a malefic house. Because Aries is a malefic house, when you don't have any planets aspecting it, you just go by the nature of the sign itself. Aries being owned by Mars is a malefic sign. So third house having a malefic influence means his enemies will appear to be having lot of boldness, lot of parakama, lot of initiative, very aggressive. That is how his enemies will appear to the world at large. But whether they win or not, whether they seem to be successfully pushing their agenda or not, is from the 6th house. How is the 6th house? 3 planets there. Benefics dominating or malefics? Venus and Mercury.
because Mercury will take on
Yeah.
Saturn or Venus.
Okay. Which one will he take? Why?
Because the Lagna Lord is influences more.
Mercury just goes by the Sankhya Bala. Whoever he is with, if he is with benefic planets, he acts as a benefic. If he is with malefic planets, he acts as a malefic. If he is with equal number of planets, he chooses. If whoever is more appropriate there, he just takes their side.
He is close to Venus.
He is closer to Venus. 26 degrees, 23 degrees. Whereas Saturn is far away. Sometimes, even if he is close to somebody, if he sees that a more influential person is in the house. For example, moon was also there, let's say. Moon was in that house. Then, or let's say he is in sun's house with sun. He will give more priority to sun because sun is stronger. If a planet is exalted or in Mola Trikona or in one house, Mercury will take their side. So he will judge the strength of various people and then go by it. If there isn't anything special like that. Here Venus and Saturn both are in enemy's house, nothing to choose from. So he goes by who is closer to me. Mercury is here, Venus is right next to him, Saturn is in the other corner of the room. So naturally he will be more friendly with Venus and try to act like Venus. So he will be benefit. Mercury is very, very adaptive. Very good point. So Venus, when the right dasha comes, Venus will suddenly start acting as though he is moon, because there is an exchange between Venus and moon. Venus is in moon house, moon is in Venus house. When there is an exchange, Venus will try to act like moon. So for that reason, Venus is actually stronger in that house. It's almost as if he is in one house. So Mercury will definitely take Venus side. So there is no doubt that Mercury is here a benefit. So two benefits are there, Mercury and Venus, and one benefit. So there is more benefit also. So his enemies will appear to the world to be people who are who are very aggressive, who start fighting. With lot of energy they jump, but after that they say, well, whatever happens, happens. Okay, cultivate. So it will appear to the world as though they are losers. It will appear to the world as though George Bush is a winner. So the only thing is, we have to look at the dashas to see when what manifests. But now before we go to dashas, let's pick up the stream of thought that Seshu just conveyed in the middle of this point. He said, A7. What is A7? Seventh house means your desires, your interactions with people, your friends. What is A7? The manifestation of it. If I say, what kind of friendship I have, what kind of relationship I am maintaining with people, that nobody can see. It is not tangible. It is within me. How I feel in a relationship, how I am thinking, all that is buried inside me. That is the seventh house. But A7 is the tangible aspects of it. What kind of people I am interacting with? I am interacting with a lot of spiritual people these days, or I am interacting with a lot of politicians these days. Those kind of things are tangible to the people. People will say, oh, he has a lot of powerful interactions these days. Like that, the tangible aspects of your interaction that the world can see, those will be shown by A7. And that A7 here is in Virgo. Which house is it in? 11th house. If an Arudha is in the 11th house, is it good or bad? It is neither a quadrant, nor a trine, nor a dusthana. But is 11th house good or bad? Just take a guess. Yeah, very good. 11th house is the house of fulfillment of all your desires. Friends, okay, but it's the fulfillment of all your desires. So if A7 or any Arudha is in the 11th house, whatever that Arudha shows, there will be some kind of fulfillment relating to those aspects. So he will have good relationships, good friendships, which will really help him in overcoming all the obstacles and getting what he wants done. Friends will help him get done whatever he wants to get done. And what kind of friends are these? Virgo. So intelligent, analytical, scholarly friends. Jupiter and Ketu. What kind of friends will Jupiter and Ketu show? Spiritualists, evangelical people, religious people. That's what Jupiter and Ketu will show. So all those kind of people will be very friendly with him this year. They will really, really help him. And Jupiter can show judges. So there may be some judges who will be favorable to him. Ketu will show again spiritual people. Yeah, it can show some headless people. Pardon? Not Ketu, but Mars is aspecting them. So Mars aspecting Jupiter and Ketu will show spiritual people who are very, very aggressive. Very aggressive and very calculating, because Virgo is very calculating. So those kind of people will help him during this year. And with their help, he will be able to achieve what he wants to achieve. Pardon me? We can look at detail also. I'm just looking at all aspects of his life. Yeah. There is a discussion here. You guys are not happy? Okay, go ahead.
We just concluded now based on various difference of the elements,
Yeah.
plus the fact that the location of planets in the A7 and A7 itself in the 11th house,
Yeah.
that Jyothishya will have the support of a lot of intelligent spiritual friends
Yeah.
who will, and with the non-perspective, they will address him, and the perception of the world is that God gives you good.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, he has successfully overcome all the problems that came his way.
But the first point that I raised when we started this discussion was the parivartana between moon and Venus.
Yeah.
The moon is in the 12th house, the Lord of the Sixth is in the 12th house.
Lord of Nine.
Lord of Nine.
Yeah.
But Venus is, there was some point made about the parivartana of Venus and moon not.
The point was the unseen, inexplicable troubles going away. That is the result given by moon in the 12th house, Bharatya Lord in the 12th house. That is diminished by the fact that moon is not really giving results as though he is in that house. He will give results as though he is in the other house, Cancer.
So unseen troubles may come.
Unseen troubles will continue to come. See, the thing is, we have said good things as well as bad things. 10th house we saw air is there, Gurika Mandi are there, 10th lord is in 8th house. So lot of setbacks in career, lot of worries, etc. we saw. And from AL and A6 we saw that there will be lot of obstacles, but he will be successful in making the enemies lose and winning himself. But still that may not result in fulfilling all his desires. Still, even though enemies lose and he wins, it may not really be gaining whatever he wanted to gain. For that, we have to look at 11th house and A11. So we said that 11th house has A7 and A11 is in the 7th house, a quadrant. So with desire, with effort, he will be able to fulfill his desire. So all these factors, you have to look at all the factors. It's not like there is one factor that will say, yes, done. It's not a yes or no question. When you look at somebody's life during a particular year or a month or the entire life, it's not a yes or no thing. Life is a very complicated thing with so many factors coming in. You may fight, you may win, but still you may not be happy. Or you may be happy, but you may not have got whatever you wanted to get. You may have given up something, even though you won, you seem to win. There are so many factors that you have to judge. So what I want you to do is understand the exact meaning of each factor that we use in the analysis. And then putting all of them together and forming a final understanding so that you can convey to the person what to expect during the year. That is a very tricky thing. In order to do that tricky thing well, you have to understand what each parameter means. That's it. So 11th house being strong, having A7 and Jupiter Ketu, a benefit, and 11th house Arudhapada, 11. This is the tangible thing that he seems to be gaining. That is in the 7th house. So he will seem to be gaining, making some clear, tangible gain. Because it's in a quadrant. It's very blessed. 11 is very, very nicely placed in an auspicious house, Taurus. Venus is a natural significator, one of the significators for the 11th house of gain. It gives gain.
Second and seventh being marker sign.
Second and?
Seventh being marker sign.
Yeah.
So 11 being in that is.
But if an Arudhapada is in those houses, it's not killed. It doesn't work that way. It shows that the planet who owns those houses, he is a marker. If there are other combinations, that planet Dasha can kill. That's all. But 11 being in the 7th house, it shows with effort, his desires will be fulfilled during this year. 11 is the fulfilled desires as the world can see. These are the tangible fulfilled desires that the world can perceive, world can actually see. Tangible articles on the ground, on the table, which the world can see, which are basically a reflection of his fulfilled desires. So for example, if something happens, some milestone happens in Iraq, or let's say a milestone happens in Israel peace process, these are all tangible things that the world can see, and they appear to be manifestations of his desires, fulfillment of desires. So such things are possible when the corresponding dashas come. Anyway, let's leave the analysis of the Rashi chart. Let's go to the Dashamsha. How is Dashamsha? How is the Dashamsha? Dashamsha indicates his career. What he is doing at workplace, etc.
In the Dashamsha 2, 6, 10 are important houses to look at.
Right. You think so?
This is important to look at.
Okay.
Second house for the resource and that.
Yeah.
This is the service he puts in that.
Yeah, yeah,
Then 10th is the actual karma he does it.
yeah.
Second house has got 12th lord in second house. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one observation. And sixth lord.
Let's forget the Lagna. Let's just focus on Arun Lagna.
Okay.
Because we don't want to see the real Jajbush. We don't care about it. It doesn't exist for us. For us, the manifested Jajbush, the Jajbush that we have access to, that is Arun Lagna Jajbush. So let's look at Arun Lagna. So Arun Lagna has Mars. So what kind of image does he have during this year?
Very aggressive.
Just based on what he is doing in his work. He will appear to be a very aggressive person.
And in
Leo, very authoritative. Now,
and when he got Mars.
no, he's not. Oh, from Arun Lagna you are seeing?
From Arun Lagna,
Yeah,
Mars is the Lord of the fourth and the ninth house.
you are right. You are
He
right.
is located in the Lagna.
Yeah,
Placed well placed in the front house.
yeah. He's also Balkesha from Arun Lagna.
Ninth house.
Yeah.
But
But-
we only take from Lagna.
Usually, you can take Balkesha from any difference. But the Balkesha from Lagna is the most important. So, forget the fact that Mars is the ninth lord from Arun Lagna. He is basically the fifth lord from Lagna.
So that's why Bharatya, I thought we only see Bharatya.
No, that's not true. You can see Bhaskesha in all charts. Here if you see the Dashamsha, who is the Bhaskesha here? Who is the Bhaskesha? Mercury is the Bhaskesha here, in this particular case. Right? One second, Moon is mentioned on this. Moon is, okay, go ahead.
So each Lagna,
Yeah.
who is from the Bharatya?
The definition is for movable signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. For movable signs, the 11th lord will become Bhaskesha. From the sign, take the 11th house. Take the lord of that house. He becomes the Bhaskesha. Bhadaka literally means troubler. So Bhaskesha means troubling lord. So for movable signs, 11th lord. For fixed signs, 9th lord. For dual signs, 7th lord. That is the difference. Very simple. Pardon me? Yeah, all are good houses. Now, if you look at the Arun Lagna, first of all, we said that Mars in the Arun Lagna is not so auspicious. He will make him look as if he is aggressive. But to see if Mars in the Arun Lagna will ruin the image or he will fill the image, you have to see what is Mars' agenda. Mars in Arudha only shows aggressive image. Is that aggressive image actually good for him or bad for him? Will it pull him down or push him up? To see that, you have to see whether Mars is a good planet or a bad planet. Is he a good planet here or a bad planet? That you always see from Lagna. So from Lagna, he is the 5th lord and 12th lord. 12th is a neutral house, 5th is a benefic house. So overall, he is a functional benefit. For Sagittarius Lagna, Mars is a functional benefit. He is a natural malefic, means naturally he engages in all atrocious activities, aggressive activities. But here, he is good for George W. Bush. He is good for George W. Bush's work. So, that Mars being in Arun Lagna is not really that bad, even though we said bad. After we took note of the other fact, it's not that bad. What it means is, he will seem to be very aggressive during the year, but it's not really that bad. That aggression may actually work well for him. It may promote his interest. Now the third house. How is the third house? 3 benefits. So, as far as his work is concerned, as far as the laws that he tries to pass, the policies that he tries to affect, etc., will he seem to be very aggressive, or will he seem to be taking it easy kind of, that kind of situation? It will seem to the world as though he is taking things easy during this year. And 6th house, that has Ketu, a malefic. And who is aspecting it? By Rashi Drishti, Venus is aspecting and Mars is aspecting. So basically one benefic aspecting, but 2 malefics are involved. One malefic occupies it, one malefic aspects it. So 6th house is very strong. So it will seem to the world, as far as various legislations that are made, various policies that are laid out are concerned during this year, it will seem to the world as though he is a little bit laid back, not putting a lot of enthusiasm, but finally when things get moving, it happens a little slowly, Finally, he finishes quickly and he finishes the opposition very quickly.
This is very good because you are saying Ketu is in the sixth house. That means he overcome obstacles and get his job done.
Right.
That is what we are saying.
Right.
No, in Dasamsha, 6th house is service. Not obstacles.
Obstacles. So he is always obstacles. From AL, these are the obstacles that he has to overcome as far as career is concerned.
Because he just said, but it looks like on the chart, he also thinks that now it will slow and hidden. He will finally move and finish.
It is during this year the only difficult thing for him is to take things very seriously. He will tend to take things a little easy and not really put lot of effort.
Because there is an example here today. There is an issue of social security prioritization.
Yeah.
It was a big thing for him about 3, 4, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And now he moved the country and then it came down.
Yeah.
Now the perception is he has been defeated.
Right.
So he is also not talking about it.
Right.
So people are thinking, and I've seen reports, news articles, where they think he has given up on that.
Yeah.
But from according to this chart, by the end of this
Several things that he may seem to be not aggressive about, he will pick them up and then finish them off.
possibly, so next spring, he may come back and do
He may come back for all you know.
it.
Not just social security, various other things. Now actually, before you look at Jyothishya's chart, always look at the natal chart. Let's just quickly look at his natal chart. If you want to see how the next few years are for George Bush, the natal chart is most important, more than Jyothishya. See what dasha is he running. What is the dasha that you should apply in his case? Is there a special dasha? The 7th Lord Saturn is in first house. If 7th Lord is in first house or first Lord is in 7th house, what is the dasha? Dvisaptati Sama dasha. So instead of Vimshottari, use Dvisaptati Sama dasha. If you use this dasha, what dasha is he running? In 2000 April, that is when he became a candidate, I think. 2000 November was the election. 2000 April to 2009 April. These 9 years he is running Jupiter dasha. Is Jupiter good or bad? But in the Rashi chart, he is giving a Rajyoga. The 9th Lord and Lagna Lord are together. So there is a long-lasting fame, Kadgesari Yoga. So things that he does for which he will be known for a long time. It may be good in a good way or bad way, but he will be remembered for a long time. So that is the yoga given by Jupiter. And look at Dashamsha, the chart of career. Jupiter is the 6th Lord in debility. The 6th Lord is debilitated. And the 10th Lord Mars is exalted. If 6th Lord is debilitated and 10th Lord is exalted, what is that yoga called? Or if you don't remember, just select Dashamsha and find yogas in Dashamsha. Jaya Yoga. See, software also gives. Mars and Jupiter are giving Jaya Yoga. Happy, successful, victorious over enemies, long lived. These are the results given by Jupiter and Mars. So that yoga is functioning. So Raj Yoga in the Rashi chart, at the physical level, he is enjoying lot of success and comfort. And in the professional environment, he is enjoying victory over enemy. So such excellent yogas are functioning during Jupiter dasha. Jupiter is the common thread between both the yogas in both the charts. So during 2000 April to 2009 April, we expect him to be very successful, very victorious. And look at the Antardasha. What is the Antardasha? He is running since last October till this December. Sun Antardasha. Right now he is running Sun Antardasha. Is it a good Antardasha or bad Antardasha? Good. Why is it good? In the Rashi chart first see, because Rashi is the physical man, physically whatever is happening. In the Rashi chart, Sun is the 2nd Lord of resources and he is in the 12th house in Maranakaraka Sthana. For Sun, 12th house is a terrible house. It's Maranakaraka Sthana for him, death inflicting house. So 2nd Lord being in Maranakaraka Sthana, what can you expect? He will suddenly appear as though he ran out of his resources, ran out of fuel. 2nd house is your fuel. It will suddenly be as though he ran out of his fuel. He will be out of ideas. And also Sun is the planet of power. If Sun is in Manakaraka Sthana, there will be some loss of power, some loss of authority. So the Sun Dasha, even though he won elections during this Dasha, because these 9 years are good and he is destined to be in power during these 9 years. From the last October till this December, this coming month or so, This period is relatively a bad period for him. He is going through a low. Still he is doing so much. Now look at the next period.
Actually, from Jupiter, Sun is in the 10th house.
Yeah.
And from Paka will fall in the 10th from Sun, that is 9th house of production.
Right.
So even though it is last, it is well protected.
The bhoga, what is experienced is bhagya. In the physical plane, what is experienced is bhagya. In the Dashamsa plane, what is experienced is power. So that is a good point. That is why at the time of election, when Sanjay was saying Sun is in the 12th house, he will lose election, I told him, but what you experience is from the bhoga. So for those who did not get the point he made is, there is a concept called bhoga. Bhoga is what you experience. For that, in a dasha, in a particular mahadasha, if you want to see what is experienced during a sub-period, what you do is from the dasha lord, count houses to the antardasha lord. And count the same number of houses from the antardasha lord. Then you get what is known as bhoga during the antardasha. That bhoga shows whichever house that falls in. Those are the things that you will experience. If the antardasha lord is in 12th house, there may be some death-like situations in the authority, there may be some problems, some danger to the authority, but finally what he experiences on the ground is good here, because from Jupiter, Sun is in the 10th house. From Sun, 10th house is Meena. Meena is the 9th house of fortune. So he will experience fortune, great fortune. Pardon me?
No,
that is also good. Yeah, the bhoga is blessed by Jupiter's drishti. Good. And here in Dashamsa, from Jupiter, Sun is in the 12th house. If you take 12th from Sun again, it is Scorpio. From Jupiter to Sun, count. From Sun, same count, you end up here. So that is the 5th house of power. So during this dasha, basically, bhoga is in the 5th and 9th house in both the charts. So he will not go out of power during this time. But the fact that Jupiter is not so well, Sun is not so well placed by himself. From Jupiter he is well placed. So in Jupiter dasha he will not do anything bad. Jupiter will tell him, in my dasha don't do anything bad, give him fortune, give him power. But Sun by himself, what does he want to do here? He doesn't really want to give power. He wants to take away some authority. He wants to take away some of his fuel, some of his resources. So that is Sun's agenda. So some of it will also come through. Not only what Jupiter wants him to do, but what Sun wants to do also will come out. So during this dasha, relatively there will be some loss of authority. During this antardasha. So relatively he is going through a low. If you go to the next antardasha, which is coming soon, in December it will start. How is this? How is Jupiter Moon? Is it good or bad? Again, Moon, the bhoga again is in the 5th house, but in Rashi chart the bhoga is in 3rd house. So very lot of initiative. Suddenly initiative will come up. And more importantly, Gajgeswar yoga in the Rashi chart, which operates at the physical domain, this yoga will start functioning. Which means things will happen during the next 1 year, 1 or 2 years. Yeah, 1 year. From this December, around a year or 13-month period, things will happen which will make him be remembered for a long time. Certainly we don't remember him for starting the Iraq war. A huge percentage of the world sees it as a mistake. Certainly we don't remember him for anything that happened so far. But something will happen in the next 1 year for which he will be remembered for a long time.
But that also can be not necessarily good.
It may be good or bad, but it will be big. Good or bad are relative, but it will be big.
Correct. There are several things that are going on.
Right.
It's a real situation.
But the thing is, what you have to remember is, the 9th Lord and Lagna Lord are involved. There is Lakshmi Yoga along with this Gajgeswar Yoga. So this is basically something of a blessing. Whatever happens is, suddenly something will happen. Something that will help him fulfill his desires. The 11 is also there. And they are in the 11th from Aroha Lagna. So his image will gain. So this is something good for his image. And some fortune is involved. 9th house is involved. And Jupiter is the Karaka for fortune. So something that happens out of fortune. Not because he did it or he deserved it. But because he deserved it from past life. Not because of what he did in this life. It happens because he deserves it. But deserves based on what he did in the past life. So something will happen. Maybe some peace in Israel. I'm just guessing. I don't know for a fact. But some big breakthrough will happen in some matter which will make people think, oh, people are unnecessarily criticizing him. What a visionary he is. Because Jupiter Moon combination can make him look like a visionary.
Yeah.
If I have such a goal.
Overall, Jupiter Dasha thinks he'll, because he's the ninth lord aspecting ninth house, there will be some fortune.
See, because if you look at what's happening today in the real political world, one is this fact, physical investigation. That's not, we have somehow withstood so far.
Yeah.
But we still don't know what can happen. If we just dribble away, based on what you just said.
Yeah.
Come January,
I do expect, whether this fizzles away or not, something, see for example, he wasn't doing so well before the election, 1 year before the election, suddenly Iraq war opposition was mounting, Howard Dean was making a big case of the Iraq, against the Iraq war, he had a lot of momentum with him. Suddenly in December, Saddam Hussein was caught. It didn't really change the situation on the ground, but when Saddam Hussein was caught, his popularity ratings soared. Howard Dean fell down. The Democratic camp, they seemed to have a candidate and people rallying behind him. Everything was at ground zero again. They had to restart. The Democratic campaign had to restart with a new leader. So but that was Sun Antara. Yes. Yes. That is why things did not happen very easily for him. Even though Sun's Bhoga is well placed, Sun wants to rob him from some authority. That is why he had a lot of he had a lot of obstacles. It wasn't taken for granted. His victory, he had to work hard, probably harder than 2000.
But also that being under the separate is more affecting his mind rather than his actions themselves.
It will affect both, but the thing is, the Antardasha Lord's agenda is that, but from Jupiter if you take Sun, from Jupiter Sun is well placed. So the Mahadasha Lord is telling the Antardasha Lord, don't do anything drastic. Let him enjoy some power and fortune. That is what Jupiter is saying. Sun will say, I want to take away power from him. I want to do this. I want to do that. Jupiter will say, no, you can't do that. And if they are not on good terms, if the Dasha Lord and Antardasha Lord are enemies, sometimes you may see that if there is a conflicting agenda between the two, the Antardasha Lord may still do what he feels like. He may not listen to the Dasha Lord. Suppose Jupiter Dasha is running and Rahu Antardasha is running. Rahu may not listen to Jupiter. He may do what he wants to do anyway. But if it is Jupiter Dasha, Moon Antardasha, or Jupiter Dasha, Sun Antardasha, they are all friends. So when Jupiter says, do this, if Sun wants to do something else, he will balance both, but he will do more of what Jupiter wants. So like that you have to see. When you see Antardasha and Dasha, the relationship is also important. So here Sun is a friend. So overall, this is a good Antardasha, but still because Sun has a bad agenda, things will not come very easily during this year. But what I want to say is once again, bottom line is, throughout Jupiter Dasha, he will be lucky. Ninth house is really a good house. It is the house of protection. From Arudha Lagna, it is the fifth house of power. From Ghatika Lagna, it is the center of power. Again, it is the fifth house. So the fifth house from Ghatika Lagna and Arudha Lagna is the house of fortune and is being aspected by Jupiter. So always anybody like Jupiter, any spiritual people, religious people, judges, they will always be very beneficial to his power. He will never lose because of him. Even if he seems to be losing, if those people have the ability to resurrect him, they will resurrect him. That is the kind of blessing he enjoys from Jupiter. And that Jupiter Dasha is running for God's sake. So even if his career is almost dead, it will be resurrected by this Jupiter Dasha. Of course, when Jupiter Dasha is over, when the next Dasha, what is the next Dasha? Venus comes, it's totally different.
From the fifth lord from real, Avila from HL.
Yeah. From GL.
No, real, HL, real.
Where is HL? Yeah, he is fifth lord from all. Yeah.
Fifth lord from all.
Yeah. Jupiter is a very beneficial planet for him. The only weakness is in Mahakaka Sthana, which can show either his enemies or his father will be destroyed. During this Dasha, either enemies or, because sixth house shows enemies, opposition, and ninth house shows father. One of the two will be basically destroyed, crushed during this year. Father may pass away, or something bad can happen to father, or his enemies, they will be destroyed, totally. This whole Dasha, until 2009. So that is what you can say. That is the only weakness. Otherwise, both in the Rashi chart and the Dashamsha chart, Jupiter is a great blesser. He is an excellent planet. Even in Navamsha, if you see, Navamsha is the blessings that somebody enjoys. Jupiter is the fifth lord in the 10th house of karma. So Jupiter is extremely well placed. This is a very good planet for him. So he is running a very good dasha. So in the Tithi Pravesh, if you see ups and downs, you should take it with a pinch of salt. Because overall he is running a great dasha. And moreover, the point I wanted to make was, within this Jupiter dasha, the best Antardasha hasn't come yet. When he got elected, when he got re-elected, those are all relatively minor Antardashas. The glorious Antardasha, for which when there will be some luck, for which he will be remembered for a long time as a great visionary and peacekeeper. That Antardasha is going to come after this December 8th, and it will last for a period of 13 months, 13 days. So during this period, he will be a very lucky man. Something will happen, probably relating to peace, because Moon and Jupiter are the planets of peace. Some peace somewhere in the world, for which he will get credit, is likely in the next year. I mean, not full peace, but some great progress towards peace, for which people will say, oh George Bush, oh George Bush. Maybe not you and me, but there will be some people who will say that.
Kashmir, yeah, maybe Israel.
I doubt it. I doubt Kashmir. Israel is probably more likely than Israel.
I do want to ask you one question. The 11th house in the Rashi chart
Yeah,
has Rahu in it.
yeah, yeah.
Now, the 11th house, first of all, I want to know whether Rahu being in 11th house is good or not.
What is your take?
You know, from what I've heard in the past, 11 planets located in the 11th house will do you good. But Rahu, because he's a person, nature is to destroy the aspect of whatever in the house is. The 11th house of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Rahu will not realize your complete fulfillment.
Okay, very good, you are thinking very well. Very good. Any other thought?
Oh, Rahu is aspected by Jupiter.
Yeah, Rahu is aspected by Jupiter. But see, 11th house is the house of fulfilling your desires. Getting what you wanted to get. The final happiness, that is 11th house. So if a planet is placed there, it means it is told, hey, give him happiness. Give him fulfillment of desires. Fulfill all his desires. Whether the planet listens or not is based on the planet's agenda. You have to see what is Rahu's agenda. Based on it, Rahu may give all his desires or may deny him. So further to see the agenda of Rahu. And then it's not just agenda. Even if Rahu has a bad agenda, if the Lord of that house is a good friend of Rahu, because Lord of the house really wants to give results relating to that house, he will tell Rahu, hey, give him his desires. Then Rahu will say, if he likes him, he will say, you want me to, that's not what I wanted, but okay, you are asking, I will give. So he will give unwillingly, maybe not fully, but half. Whereas, if he is an enemy, and if Rahu has a bad agenda, he doesn't want to fulfill his desires, but wants to give him a lot of setbacks and worry. If that is his agenda, and the Lord is an enemy, he will say, you want me to do it? On your dead body, or on my dead body. He will not listen to that Lord of that house. He will do whatever he feels like. But again, it's not just the Lord of the house. The Karaka. For each house, there is a significator, a Karaka. And based on the analogy, if you remember the analogy I gave in a previous class, those of you who were from the beginning, the Lord of the house is basically like a group manager at an office, at a workplace. He's in charge of all the people in the group. He will tell each group member, do this, do this, do this. And they have to listen to him because, after all, they are in his house. They are under him. But the Karaka, the significator of that house matter, is like a project manager. He is the one who is finally responsible for that project. If something goes wrong, he is the one who is criticized, not the group manager. And sometimes you have to also involve various other groups. There is one group which is most important for that project. For 11th house matters, this group, Taurus group, is most important. Venus is the group manager. Rahu is the sole member in that group. But there are other planets aspecting him, like Jupiter. So, all those people, they may be in some other project, but they have a desire to influence that project and they have some contribution to make. So, based on their bosses and this boss, based on the relationship, how well they contribute is determined. And above all, the project manager, how he is connected with this group manager and this group manager and with the planets themselves. Based on it, whether they fully contribute to the project or not is decided. So if you think in terms of that analogy, things will become much easier. And for the 11th house, fulfilling the desire, who is the significator? Who is the significator for fulfillment of desire? Venus. Venus is the significator and Moon is the secondary significator. So the significator also happens to be the Lord of the house. And he is a friend of Rahu.
And he's also placed in Lagna.
He is placed in Lagna, in a moon sign, in a sign owned by moon. So all the aspects are very auspicious. So even though Rahu is 8th Lord, he really wants to give lot of ups and downs and have fun. He doesn't want to make things easy. He wants to give lot of troubles and anxiety. Still, he will do that to a limited extent and he will fulfill lot of desires. So no factor can be judged in isolation. You have to look at the Karaka, the house lord and whoever is aspecting, and based on it you can draw final conclusion.
But if you take a further extend this law, it's a Mars that I 2007, 2008.
Yes, that's what I was going to analyze. Now Moon Dasha, we expect some peace somewhere, peace or peace-like thing somewhere, for which our beloved President George W. Bush will be remembered as a visionary down the road. For example, even Ronald Reagan, when he was he took a hardline approach towards Soviet Russia. In the first term, he was not liked. People said he was too aggressive, he wasn't doing the right thing. But later, in the second term, in the middle of the second term, when Soviet Union fell, suddenly people thought, oh, what a visionary, what an approach. His whole image went through a makeover in the 1980s. So something like that is possible with George Bush in the next year, based on things that he probably did not do anything about. Now, Mars Antardasha, that's showing a totally different picture. How is Mars Antardasha? Any thoughts? In the Rashi chart, he is a Yogakaraka. Mars is a Yogakaraka. And from Jupiter, he is in the 12th house. So if you take Jupiter as Lagna, Mars is the 3rd and 8th Lord, a malefic but placed in the 12th house, giving a Viparita Rajayoga. From Virgo, taking Jupiter as Lagna, Mars is giving a Viparita Rajayoga. 8th Lord in 12th house is Viparita Rajayoga. A Dusthana Lord in another Dusthana. And the Bhoga is in Lagna. It's in a trine as well as a quadrant. And look at the Dashamsha, the Jaya Yoga that we talked about, Jupiter and Mars, they give Jaya Yoga, exalted Mars and debilitated Jupiter. Debilitated 6th Lord, which means enemies are sad. Exalted 10th Lord, he has achieved what he wanted to achieve. So that yoga is operating then, in 2007. So during 2007, do you expect him to be a peacemaker and somebody remembered for peace, or just give one final blow to his enemy? They may be Iraq, they may be Iran, they may be Pakistan, they may be anybody. They may be Syria, they may be Sudan, they may be anybody. But give a final blow and do something that will defeat his enemy. Is that, do you expect some kind of war kind of thing in 2007 or peace kind of thing? War kind of thing is quite possible. We don't know for a fact. When Mars, the 10th Lord is exalted, he can do some really aggressive action in 2007. So my feeling, also if you look at the planetary positions during that year economy doesn't look good, economy looks very terrible, and if you see Shani Ketu will be conjoining in Leo, lot of disturbance in the world is possible, political disturbance. So again some turmoil, some war or limited war taken up by George Bush in 2007, which will plunge the world into a lot of turmoil just before he goes. He is quite possible in 2007. So you can. You were saying.
I did the synchronization chart in 2006.
Yeah, we'll go to that.
Okay.
We'll finish. Now we'll go back to the Kriti Pravesh. Let's finish the current year. So you have to see the natal chart. See what is in store. Keep that at the back of your mind because that is the base. Kriti Pravesh is like a ripple on that base. Unless you know whether the base is here or here, you don't know what the ripple actually shows. So take this as a base and now go to the Kriti Pravesh. So 2005 we finished. We said that this year he will be a little bit laid back, but finally he will crush his enemies, or at least he will appear to be victorious in a lot of matters during this year. But look at the dashas. Quickly let's summarize the current dashas and then let's go to the next year's chart. How is the current period that's running right now? Moon. Is moon dasha good dasha or bad dasha for career? What is moon's agenda? Not Badhakesha. In the Rashi he is Badhakesha, but in Lagna, in Dashamsha, from Dashamsha Lagna he is the 8th Lord. 8th Lord is in not Mankarka, 8th house. If he is in 8th house, he is Mankarka Sthana. He is just 8th Lord.
He has to work hard for his fulfillment.
Yeah, exactly. He is told to fulfill his desires. That is what moon is told to do. But his agenda is make him work hard, make him work hard, make him work hard. And we see that a similar combination exists in natal Rashi chart also. Rahu was the 8th Lord, he was in the 11th house. Here again 8th Lord is coming to the 11th house. Now, the Venus and Moon, are they friends or not friends? They are not really friends. They are not any great enemies, but they are not really friends. So Moon doesn't listen to Venus the same way Rahu listens. So during Moon Dasha, there will be a lot of tension, anxiety and setbacks. A lot of ups and downs are quite possible. But how is the next Dasha of Mars? Because this is the Dasha in which that Dusaptati Samadasha, Antardasha is changing from Jupiter Sun to Jupiter Moon. On December 8th, there is a change. Of course, the date can be off by a couple of weeks. The calculations are not necessarily very accurate. Because if the time is off by a few seconds, it can change. And when I rectified, I haven't rectified up to a second. But these calculations are accurate. In the Tripravesh chart, we are already compressing from 120 years to 1 year. So any error of a few weeks is compressed to an error of few minutes. So this is accurate. On December 8th, his Mars Dasha will be starting during this year. How is this Dasha? Is it good or bad? Why is it good? He is the 5th Lord of ability. He is in the Arudha Lagna. So suddenly he will appear to the world to be very, very capable. In Moon Dasha, does he appear to be aggressive or does he appear to be laid back? In Moon Dasha, he appears to be lost, confused, no real initiative, no real parakrama. He doesn't know what he is doing. That's the image people have. Why? Because Moon is a benefic and he is in the 3rd from Arudha Lagna. So because of that, during the Moon Dasha, he will appear to be taking things easy.
This is right now.
This is right now. That may be partly true. Even though he is making a little bit of noise here and there, then and now, he is making a little bit of noise in some speeches. But people overall think he is lost. He doesn't know what he is doing. He doesn't have a clear focus. He doesn't know what to do. That's the image people will have right now. And that's probably true. But once the Mars Dasha comes on December 8th, for the next 1 year, 1 month, he will appear to be very aggressive, very bold. He clearly knows what he wants to do. People may like it or may not like it, but he clearly knows what he wants to do. So that is the image that's going to come. And also the fact that Mars is the 5th Lord means popularity ratings may actually not be as bad as they are right now. They may actually increase during the Mars Dasha. But after that, Mercury will come. How is it? Pardon me?
No,
In the Dashamsha. In the Dashamsha, Mars is the 5th Lord. How is the next Mercury period?
That is the next one.
January to February. Mercury is the 7th Lord, 7th and 10th Lord, and he is in the 11th house. Pardon me? He is the ruler of the year?
Yes.
Oh, he is the ruler of the year. So how is it? But he is also Badhakesha. So it is mixed. It is actually not as good as Mars Dasha. Mars Dasha, suddenly some aggressive event and his image will be changing. Mercury Dasha is a mixed Dasha.
Can he change his character based on the fact he is with Jupiter and Moon?
Yeah, he is beneficial.
So Badhakesha effect will
Badhakesha, he will give his effect. Whether he is with Mercury or Moon or Jupiter or Venus. He is Badhakesha. He remembers that he has to give him some problem. He will keep giving problems.
because he is Badhakesha in the Dashansha,
Yeah.
he may be doing it for his service, there is his career oriented.
Yes. In the workplace, suddenly something may come up. There may be a rumor that some other person is involved in the... There may be something in the press. If mercury gives problems, they will be related to press. So press may be writing some things about somebody in his...
In fact, just last week, Bob Woodward, that came out.
Right. Such things can happen in the mercury period.
Yeah. But will it affect him is the question. Yeah.
For me?
It won't affect his power because we just concluded from his natal chart that he...
Right. All these effects are like ripples basically. It will cause a ripple in his popularity. And again he may appear to be lost because Mercury is a third lord in the from Aru Lagna. But the interesting thing, all these Saturn, Jupiter, these are not that interesting. But the interesting period is, this is an interesting period. Rahu. How is Rahu's period? Rahu is in the 8th house, in Cancer. He is the third lord. How is that? Is it a...
Parakrama will be diminished. The initiative will not be as easy because in the 8th house we have to make it hard.
First of all, normally 8th house for Rahu is bad, but if he is third lord, is 8th house good or bad?
It will be bad because
he is a Dusthana lord in another Dusthana. 3, 6, 8 and 12 lords, if they are in other houses. He gives Viparita Raj Yoga. If it is 6, 8, 12, it is full. If it is 3, it is semi. So there is a semi Viparita Raj Yoga given by Rahu. But most important thing is look at Arudha Lagna. More than Lagna, look at Arudha Lagna. How is he from Arudha Lagna? 12th house. Is 12th house from Arudha Lagna good for Rahu or bad for Rahu? What do you remember from our previous discussion? For Shani and Rahu, basically Parashara says, 12th house from Arudha Lagna will give Raj Yoga. It will give Rajya. For if you are talking about benefits like Mercury and Jupiter, they better be in the 2nd house of food sources. If it is Shani or Rahu, they better be in the 12th house of giving up. So he will seem to be giving up malice, giving up all the tensions, anxieties. Or if it is Shani, he will seem to be giving up all his suffering, depression, etc. So if you are seen to be giving up those things, you seem to be doing well to the world. Then they think, oh, he is so happy. Whereas if Jupiter or Sun is in the 2nd, is in the 12th house from Aru Lagna, you seem to be giving your wisdom. You seem to be losing your kingdom. That is bad. That is the opposite of Raj Yoga. But here, because he is a political leader, of course for a saint again the results will be opposite.
This specific rule is for Shani and Rahu or for malefic versus Shani?
In general, malefics in the Aroha Lagna is good. Whereas benefics in the 2nd from, sorry, I said wrong. Malefics in the 12th from Aroha Lagna or benefics in the 1st or 2nd from Aroha Lagna is good. Especially for Shani and Rahu, Parashara calls it a Raj Yoga. So here Rahu is giving a Raj Yoga. And the sign he is placed in, is it good or bad for Rahu? Cancer.
Good for Rahu.
Yes, it is good for Rahu.
Yeah, he is in
Even though it is an inimical house, he loves being in that house. One of the few houses that Rahu loves being in is Cancer. It is like he wants to kill Moon and he doesn't find Moon. He goes to Moon's house. He feels good. Yes, I'm in this house. Let him come. I'm going to kill him. So he feels good as though he's not really killing Moon. He feels so good. It's like a thug who wants to kill a nice prince or priest, goes to his house. He's excited there. Yes, let him come. I'll take care of him. Like that. He's in that kind of mood. So for Rahu, being in Cancer is very good. He's very, very effective there. He's fully alert there.
Is that true for Simha as well?
Yes. Simha also, Simha Rahu is good.
earlier we said Rahu, that's not that exaggerated in Leo rather than
Cancer is supposed to be better, but still he's Janma Simha Rajadata, they say. So if somebody is born in Simha Lagna with Rahu in Lagna, Rahu himself is capable of giving Raja, irrespective of other factors. So Rahu likes being in Kanya, Simha and Karka, all the three. But Karka he is particularly interested in because he likes to eclipse more than Sun. He likes to eclipse Moon. He takes more pleasure out of it, eclipsing Moon. Because Rahu is materialism. He wants to eclipse your mind. Whereas Ketu is moksha. He wants to eclipse your soul so that your soul doesn't exist anymore. You are part of the Supreme Soul. So Ketu, the giver of moksha, wants to eclipse your Atma And Rahu, the giver of bhoga, he wants to eclipse your manas. So that is why Rahu has an affinity to moon. Affinity in the sense of abstract thinking. And Ketu has an affinity to sun from the point of view of abstract thinking.
Very interesting, the last phrase you said. Ketu has an affinity to sun from the point of view of abstract thinking.
Yeah.
It means sun signifies Atma is important.
Yes. And Ketu wants to give moksha.
So removing the difference between Atma
To give the moksha, mind is a very small thing. The Atma also has to vanish. If there is a separate Atma, you associate yourself with that Atma, not with material pleasures, etc., like moon may show, not with bodily pleasures, material pleasures, mental pleasures. But even if you associate, there is an Atma. I am different. That is a different person. I am a different person. That self-identification is also not beneficial for the moksha. And Ketu wants to give moksha. So people think Rahu and Ketu are bad people, demons who want to destroy you, but they also are interested in something good. But that good may be bad in the short term, so you may not like it. But that is the real meaning of Ketu wanting to eclipse sun. Anyway, going back here, so this dasha, but Rahu is in the 8th house. So this dasha will cause a lot of anxiety to both. But still, finally this dasha will end in a lot of good things. It is suddenly a lot of good things will work out for George Bush during this period. But the most interesting thing will be next year.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Yes, please.
George Bush, in general, Ronald Reagan was known as a Teflon president.
Yeah.
Anything happened, that is
Known as a what president?
Teflon. Like you make this Teflon pan,
Yeah.
you non-stick to it,
Yeah.
non-stick.
Yeah.
Anything you cook in it, nothing sticks to it.
Yeah.
So like that, Ronald Reagan, anything bad happened around him.
Yeah.
It will not stick to him.
Yeah.
It will only stick to his followers, some followers will suffer something.
Yeah.
Looks like George Bush is also having similar tendency.
Yeah.
He's not, nothing is sticking to him.
Yeah.
He's always coming out saying his followers are suffering. One of you, Scott Libby,
Yeah.
Peter Libby, whatever.
Yeah.
He went to state.
Yeah.
So I just want to do, can you do quick analysis of?
We already did. Basically, he has great fortune.
Huh?
For his followers, you
Yeah.
say.
But
Okay.
it is bad for his followers. Because his followers it is bad.
Go to the natal chart. You want to see followers? Pardon me?
Or his leader, George Cheney.
Yeah, we can see Cheney's chart in some other Dick Cheney, you mean?
No, yeah. Dick Cheney, yeah.
We will
That's
see.
the only way you can get to him in terms of his reputation coming down.
Right. So we will, well, not only followers, whatever he did with respect to Iraq war, also he questionable there.
Also, God is very single-minded. He makes a decision, he never wavers. He will not listen to, like that.
That is the appearance that we get.
Exactly.
The aura that we have. What actually goes on inside, like we just said Dick Cheney is his controller. Everybody jokes about it.
We will see Dick Cheney's chart later.
Okay.
We will see how the next few years are for him, because he seems to be getting in some trouble too. So let's see how his next couple of years are in a future class. But let's stick to George W. Bush right now. Actually, instead of natal chart, let's just see the current year's chart. How is this year for his followers? How do you see his followers? Shall we see Rashi or Dashamsha first?
What is his?
We are looking at his followers at workplace. So let us see Dashamsha. And how do you see his followers are subordinates? Who do we see? Because followers are all of us. I don't know if all of you are followers, but potentially all of us are followers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Political
Shishya.
Shishya.
Yes. Subordinates basically. Political subordinates. You can understand. Who is the Karka? What is the house? Yeah. Karka for subordinates is Saturn. Okay. Should you see A5, A6, 5th house, 6th house, Saturn, from Saturn, what should you see? What is your thinking? I just want to see your thinking. Just think. I'll give you a minute. Think. First of all, 6th house is servant, and the 6th house is also obstacles, enemies. It is also servant. And 5th house, are we talking about his servant or are we talking about his advisor? Who are getting in trouble? Who are with?
If it is advisor,
Advisor.
it is A9. If it is servant, it is A6.
Are advisors from A9?
Advisor,
How do you see A9? How do you see advisors?
advisor,
How do you see advisors?
the
Who is the Karaka and what is the house for advisor?
Jupiter.
Very good. Jupiter is Karaka for advisors. Okay.
And you should see
What is the house for Karakas?
9.
Ninth house? Ninth house of protection. So Karaka advisors are basically protecting you. Okay. Very good. So in the Dashamsha, are you saying that the ninth house from Jupiter is your advisor? Is that what you are saying? Okay. Anybody with any other thoughts? Good point. Anybody with any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? Yeah, but A6 is more like enemy than subordinate. This is opposition that he has to overcome. Yes. Very good. Advice that you get from your advisor, is it a protection that you are enjoying or is it a resource that you are enjoying? Very good point. Very good. Think yourself. Then you will get the answer. If I say something, it may be wrong. It may be right, but you may not understand it. You have to think. Are the advisors, are your advisors your protection or are they your resources? Resources. So what is the house for advisors? Whereas if you say followers, there may be people who like Bush, who follow Bush. Those are fifth house. There are people who serve George Bush. They are the sixth house from his Saturn. People in the White House, the staff, those people. For example, there may be a spokesman, White House spokesman. He is his servant. He's just doing what you tell him to do. He is a servant, and servants are seen from the sixth house because they help you overcome your obstacles. When there is a problem, they take the problem upon themselves. They get in problems because of you. So, sixth house shows your servant, but the sixth house from Lagna is your overall anxiety. But if you take sixth house from Shani, Saturn, that shows your servant. So, sixth from Saturn is servant. Jupiter is the Karaka for advisors. That is very good. Jupiter is the Karaka for advisors. Now, should it be the second house from Jupiter or which house in the Dashamsha? Any other thought? So one thing on the table is ninth house, another thing on the table is second house. Any other houses so far? Any other thought?
Actually, 10th house.
For me?
I want to say 10th house also.
Why? 10th house is what you get accomplished in the society. Why should you show your advisor?
Your power over your, say that. Power over your advantage, 10th house.
For me?
10th house is how you, the personality for growth in the work world, right?
It is basically 10th house is how you are acting in the society. And that is the dharma of your advisor. Your advisor's dharma is to ensure that you are doing good work. You are getting what you need to get done. So 10th house, your 10th house is the dharma. The 9th house, the duty, the 9th house of your advisor. So if you take the second house and take 9th therefrom, it is in the 10th house. So the work that you do is the dharma of your advisor. You have to make sure that you get the right work done, not the wrong work. Okay, A6, that is another thing on the table, but the problem is this is the obstacle. Of course, your advisors will help you overcome the obstacles, but they are just one side aspect of it. A6 is basically your obstacle.
A2 because being the tangible.
Yes, the second house is basically the overall advice that you are getting, we said. So that's intangible. The advice that you are getting, what is the advice you are getting? That's intangible. But the people who advise you are tangible people. So it should be an Arudha. 7th house is all the people that you interact with. Not just your advisor. All the people, he may go and meet so many people. They are all 7th house. Advice from the second house is a very good point. Second house of resource. Advisors are your resource. But is it your overall resource or your Jupiterian resource? Is it A2 from Lagna or A2 from Jupiter? Is it the Arudha, the manifestation of the second house from Lagna or second house from Jupiter? Jupiter. So we have so far not really done Arudhas from Grahas, but you can. The second house from Lagna is the overall advice you get. It may be from so many sources. So the second house, so should you see the second house from Jupiter or Sun? Sun is the politician. Yeah.
We talked about Grahanda a while ago, so it is not the...
We'll come to that. That is the next step. We are doing it in steps so that we get to the right answer.
The Sun is the king, the second house from the king would be his own advice. The second house from Jupiter would be the advice
Yeah.
of his guide.
So his political advisors, are they from the second house from Sun or second house from Jupiter or second house from Mars? See, he gets advice from so many people. From defense people he gets advice. From the legal people he gets advice. From Dick Cheney he gets advice. From so many people. From what is his name? The person who sees Karl Rove. Okay, I didn't even finish. Karl Rove.
Actually, his title is also like Deputy Chief Advisor or something.
Okay. Title is a separate thing. Title doesn't mean much to us, but the role. So if you are talking about political advisors who are saying you can do this, you can do that, you can say this, that is fine. So political advisors, should you see from the second house from Jupiter, or second house from Moon, or second house from Sun?
From all for different aspects.
Different aspects. But here we are seeing a few people who got in trouble. Who are those people? Karl Rove, that Libby guy. Yeah, these are all basically political advisors.
From Sun.
Is it Sun or Moon?
Sun.
Okay.
Why do you Sun or Moon?
Because Sun is the Atma and Moon is the mind. And Sun, if you look at the planetary cabinet, Sun is the king and Moon is the minister. You can say queen also, but you can also say minister. He is like the prime minister. Jupiter is the priest. Priest, or you can say judge. They are all the same. And Mars is the chief of army. And Venus is the dancing girl.
But here is another thing. You mentioned earlier that the moon which reflects the source of mind.
Yeah.
There are more of the material things.
Yes.
The sun is more the spiritual thing. So the advice is
He is the core soul basically.
correct. So for the reality, the physical reality, the kind of advice you're getting for political advice should be more from
More lunar than solar. More lunar than solar. Good. Yeah. It's a political advice, but what is it directed at? It is directed at how people will perceive. If you do this, people will be okay with it, like that. So, if you are looking at ministers actually, Sun is, though we say he is the king, the second from Sun, in the chart, if you look at his Dashamsha, Sun, what does Sun show? What does Moon show?
Sun shows the power, authority.
Yeah. Sun is the king. So, Saturn will show servants naturally. Mars will show his military people. Venus will show his entertaining, people who entertain him, who keep him in good spirit. And Mercury will show people who educate him, people who give him more knowledge. And Moon will show people who people who keep him in good spirit, but also ministers. People who advise him, ministers who also keep him in good spirit. And Jupiter is people who guide him, like legal scholars, etc. Sun will show other political people, like various other politicians within his party.
For all you know, Dick Cheney may be indicated by Sun.
Dick Cheney will definitely be indicated by Sun rather than Jupiter. Dick Cheney is Sun, because they are also fellow kings who are guiding him. So Dick Cheney, or if you take the Republican senators, they may go and tell him, this is not good because this is bad for our political calculations in my state or in my county. So they are all shown by Sun. So, is it Moon or Mercury now? We ruled out Sun and Jupiter. Mercury is intelligent people who are enabling your learning. And Moon is people who know the pulse of the masses and who are guiding you. So both of them are basically like ministers. Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, all are like ministers. But Jupiter is more priest-like minister. Moon is more like one who knows the nadi of people, one who knows the mood of the people. That kind of minister who guides. And Mercury is a scholar who guides you about the right and
In
wrong.
this case, you may want to keep scholarly people for your scholarly.
Learned people, not really scholarly, but
also looking into the marks of the people. Like Carl Rove, if you say,
yeah,
he's also looking at, he's the one who calculated how the elections should be conducted.
right.
So if you really see Mercury is associated with moon of Jupiter. But
Right.
actually in this case it's more with moon.
You have Mercury, Moon and Moon together. So let's take that as the advisor. Okay. Now you should understand if his military advisors are getting trouble, take the second from Mars. Here the advisors are, you have to understand, this is why in astrology, to do precise astrology, you have to really understand the guts of it, who that person is, what is the relationship. Unless you understand, you will not identify that particular relationship in the chart. You see what I am saying? You have to have a lot of general knowledge also. And for all you know, our knowledge may be wrong and we may have come to the wrong conclusion. That is also a possibility. But as you understand the person, his surroundings, his Desekala Patra better, you will be able to map all those factors, all those people in astrological terms better. So now let us say Libra as the Lagna, which shows the advice that he gets. And the second house is the actual advice he gets. This is the second house from Mercury or second house from Moon is the advice he gets. But this is the true advice, not the manifested advice. For the manifestation, you should always look at the Arudha. Now, are we looking at the advice itself or the advisor? Advisor.
Tangible,
The tangible manifestation of the
physical.
of the people who are advising, of the intelligence. If you are looking at tangible manifestation of inanimate things, then it is Arudha Padas of houses. Houses are inanimate. But house lords are animation. They have life force in them. They have Narayana in them. They are moving, thinking people. So, if you want to see the manifest, again you are talking about a manifestation. You are talking about how the intelligence of all these advisors work. If you want to see how their intelligence works, you should take the second lord. If you see what kind of advice they gave, what is the fortune of that advice, whether that advice is listened to or not. If you want to see that, the advice, take the A2. From Libra, of course. But if you want to see the pupil themselves who advise him, then take the Arudha of the second lord. Because second lord is the intelligence that is giving that advice, and Arudha of that is the pupil, the manifested, the tangible pupil, the tangible manifestation of that intelligence which is guiding him in the Moon and Mercury matters, in his career. Okay? Is it a little bit clear?
Yeah.
You have to really meditate on this. What is house? What is house lord? What is Arudha of house? What is Arudha of house lord? These four are the most important factors. One is, main thing is houses are inanimate, house lords are intelligence that is driving. It is animating those inanimate things and driving them. Learning is inanimate. How I am learning is animate. The intelligence I am applying to my learning process is animate. I am learning with energy, learning in a very relaxed way. How I am learning? That is Lord. Whereas learning itself is inanimate. And if you say the Arudha, the inanimate circumstances in which learning is happening, in this room, in Sadhu Vaswani Center, or in a college, that is inanimate. Inanimate, but it is tangible. So tangible, so it is Arudha. Inanimate, so Arudha of a house. Whereas if you say a particular person who is guiding him, it is animate, so it is an Arudha. Secondly, it is a person, it is an intelligence manifestation, not inanimate manifestation. So it's manifestation of an intelligent person, of an intelligence, so it is Arudha of a house lord. So understand the difference between all the four factors. So, what did we conclude?
One thing here is, after a lot of discussion, we came to conclude that moon is the reference.
Yeah, Moon is the reference, Moon and Mercury are the reference.
Looks to me like a very subjective thing, a very subtle thing that.
Very subtle thing based on our understanding of the people that we wanted to concentrate on.
So on a given topic, on any kind, taking the reference between four of us, we might end up with four different references.
Yeah. And one of us is right and others are wrong. And for all you know, we may be wrong now, but our understanding is these advisors are Moon and Mercury kind of advisors. They are giving lunar and mercurial advice. So we took, if you take a legal advisor, for example, there was a legal advisor who also got in trouble. Her nomination as a Supreme Court Justice was in trouble. So for that you take Jupiter, second from Jupiter. So like that. So now where is the Arudha of this house? Where is the Arudha of this house?
UL is the fourth house.
It is UL. It is the It is Aquarius. So now from Aquarius, how is the period right now for his advisors? Is it a good period for them or bad period for them? This moon period. From Aquarius, taking Aquarius as Lagna to see what happens to these people. What? Pardon me? Oh, yes, you are right. We made a mistake. We wanted to see the people. Not the advice they gave. The people. So we have to see the Arudha. Let me put the Graha Arudha. Graha Arudha view. So we wanted to see health world. The Arudha of the Lord of the 12th house. Because 12th house is the second house. We wanted second house from moon, but that happens to be 12th house from Lagna. So because in the software you can't get Graha Arudhas and Bhava Arudhas from various Grahas, various references, we just map it from Lagna. So from Lagna we want 12th house, is Graha Arudha, so L12. L12 is in Scorpio. You may or may not have it. In the choose a view, select standard view with Graha Arudha. If you have it, put it. Okay. Or you can alternately look at the screen. Now, from him, how is this period? How is this period for his? How is moon period for the advisors? Is it good or bad?
So L12 is the one which is considered as the Lagna.
Yeah, take L12 as Lagna. It's the 12th house.
So it's the end of the garden. Which thing is good?
Ninth law is the last.
Okay. Are there any legal problems possible for them at all? Any legal problems possible? What is the house you see for any litigation, legal problems, etc.?
12th house is very strong. Imprisonment is a possibility.
Yes. 12th house is very strong. So imprisonment of some advisors is a strong possibility. That is one thing. And for litigation, what is the house for litigation? Litigation. Court cases, litigation, 6th house. Correct. So 6th house from here has Saturn in it. And Saturn is a benefic or malefic? He is a malefic, but he is in Nisha there. So they will fight. They will fight the fight well. But still they have a fight to fight. And the Lord of that house, Mars, is in 10th house. So whatever karma they do, whatever work they do, is basically towards litigation and it's very aggressive karma. That is one thing. And secondly, if you look at the Badhakasthana, because all these suddenly somebody's name comes up and they are in big trouble. For that kind of thing, look at the Badhakasthana. How is Badhakasthana? Is it good or bad? It's terrible because Rahu is there. Rahu and Ketu are kind of like karkas for Badhaka. The concept of Badha. I said Badhakas, Badhakasthana and the Badhaka Lord give troubles which are intangible. Sudden things that you can't even see. And if you look at all the grahas, you can see moon, you can see Venus, you can see sun. But can you see Rahu and Ketu? You can't see. So they are hidden. So similarly, if Rahu or Ketu are associated with the Badhakasthana, that is even worse. So Rahu is placed in Badhakasthana. Also, is he in Manakarkasthana? By any chance, is the 9th house Manakarkasthana for Rahu? Yes. So from Scorpio, Rahu is in the 9th house, which is Manakarkasthana for him. What house does he own from Scorpio? 4th house. Rahu owns the 4th house of Sukha. So, is there any happiness, comfort, Sukha for his advisors? No. His advisors have no peace of mind during this year. They are very, very worried. And that Rahu is not only in Manakarkasthana, but he is in Badhakasthana. So, a lot of worries for him. Hidden troubles.
Through legal matters.
Legal matters are also possible for them, but imprisonment is a strong possibility for the advisors.
The fact that Jupiter is in the 12th house
Yeah.
from the Lagna
Yeah.
for them means the legal
All are benefits for me. It is not good, but at the same time, this is Gargesari Yoga in the 12th house. So, an imprisonment is very beneficial for them. Because you have Moon and Jupiter in the 12th house. When Moon and Jupiter are in the 12th house, see, that is conjunction of the second Lord and ninth lord. Second lord is money, ninth lord is fortune. If those lords are conjoined and they are Moon and Jupiter giving Gajgesari Yoga, they become popular, they become well known. They become heroes and they can also benefit from this. Then second lord and ninth lord are giving imprisonment. That imprisonment can give them lot of benefits also. So even from the prison they may be writing books and they may make millions. That is a possibility. Yeah. Mercury can show books also. So they can make lot of, it's not an unfortunate combination. More than Mars, Rahu and Ketu being in the 12th house, Moon and Jupiter being in 12th house is better. You can be imprisoned and also make a fortune out of it. So it's not that bad for them. So don't pity them. Now, let us see how the, let us go to the next year's chart. In the next year's chart, 2006 chart, let's make a ruler of the year is Mercury. So you child had a few comments. Let us wind up in the next 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes.
Mercury is in the 9th in Cancer.
Yeah.
Mars, Mercury, Saturn.
Mars, Mercury and Saturn. Yeah.
And so that's probably somewhat good. And also GL is in 6th in the ascendant. It's
Yeah.
very bad. It's a very bad year. And then I had, I noticed that the Ruha Lagna is in rocking in the 5th.
Yeah.
So you're going to see some problems. And A5 is in A11.
Uh-huh.
And the 7th and 4th. But I particularly saw that the AL is in Pisces.
Yeah.
And Jupiter is Lord is in Libra, so it's seen as a balancer this year. People are going to see him as a justice person next year. And because Venus is the 6th Lord from A5,
Yeah.
I determined that the Venus period, which starts on 7/13th into September 19th, is going to be bad, because there's Venus is Gata. And Jupiter is the 8th Lord from A5. And Jupiter is March 22nd, 2007 to 5th, 24th, 2007. So the Jupiter doctor is going to be bad. Because Venus is the 6th Lord from A5 and Jupiter is the 8th Lord from A5. Both of those are bad periods in this next week.
Okay.
And the GL is in the 6th from the ascendant. It's very bad in the Sun chart. And GL is in 6th from the ascendant. It's also very bad. So because of GL, I said it's going to be a very bad year, although you said it's going to be a heroic year. I know GL is very important to see in politics.
Yeah. We have to, from the natal chart, we know that 2006 will be a year when something fortunate will happen for which we will be known for a long time. We said that. But maybe before this birthday or after this birthday. We also said that 2007, the year 2007, which falls within this birthday year, this calendar. The calendar year 2007. We said 2007, January 13, right? From January 21 for another one year. That period has an overlap with this chart. So during that year we said that he will go to wars, he will do a lot of aggressive things. So we said both. So
he said you have Sun, Moon, and Mars in Scorpio in the 8th house.
Let's focus on that. That's a really significant yoga.
Yeah.
Moon, Sun and Mars together. There is a name for that yoga. Does anybody know? Does anybody know the name of that yoga? Let us see in the software. I think I programmed this yoga in software. See, Sun, Moon and Mars. If they are in mutual trine, Sun, Moon and Mars in mutual konas, that yoga is called Trilochana yoga. Does anybody know what Trilochana means? Three-eyed one. Who is the one with three eyes? Actually all of us. But we say specifically with respect to Shiva. So Trilochana is Shiva. This yoga, the results are victorious over enemies, wealthy, intelligent, basically destroys enemies. So he has Jaya Yoga in the natal chart. A similar yoga called Trilochana yoga is coming next year in the Samsa. In the 2006 year chart.
And it's in Scorpio, so that's war.
Scorpio is a warlike sign, it's a martial sign. Mars is extremely strong there. And this is also Raja Yoga. Lagna Lord, 4th Lord and 5th Lord. All of them are together. How close are they? 252, 255, 25. So Sun and Mars are extremely close. Okay. So So there is a nice Raj Yoga, and this is a Raj Yoga not for peace. This is a Raj Yoga that makes him go to war. So that combination is there in the chart next year. And also let's look at Aruha Lagna.
So does it happen suddenly because of the reasons?
It is 8th house, so it can suddenly also happen. It may not be slowly meditated upon. It can suddenly happen. And if you look at Aruha Lagna in Dashamsha, if you look at Aruha Lagna in the Dashamsha, it has Venus and Ketu in it, but look at who's in the 3rd and 6th. The 3rd house is occupied by Saturn, and 6th house is occupied by Moon, Sun and Mars. Only Moon is a benefit there. Everybody is a benefit. And out of... Yeah, he is Nicha. Oh, good. So benefit is in Nicha. So he acts as if he is malefic. So you have strong malefic influences on 3rd and 6th. So this is a year. Right now, during this year, he is taking things easy. And we said that some peaceful event may happen. Some good event. Pardon me? Aruha Lagna. Yeah. We said that after this December, a 1 year period will result in some peaceful event or something that will be remembered. And that is probably not this year. Not the 2006-2007 year. It is probably 2005-2006 year that we saw previously. Because there also there is a Gajgesa Yoga in the 11th house of fulfillment. So in the Dashamsha. So probably we are talking about whatever happens in 2006 will happen before his birthday. The good thing that happens, that we said, is probably going to happen in the first half of 2006. And we said that after 2007, January 13, he may go to war or do something aggressive. Aggressively go after his enemies and try to destroy them. And that can happen from 2007, January to December, based on the Dasha. But based on this, it's probably going to happen after birthday in 2006.
So next summer.
So it's basically 2007 summer, 2007 spring and summer.
So it's going to be delayed.
It's going to be delayed. Even though this year starts next June, the Antardasha of Moon is still running based on the natal chart till January. So after January, he will show his true color and do something aggressive. So that is what you can conclude by combining both the factors. But one thing is very much possible, that during the 2006-2007 year, he will do some really aggressive stuff. This combination is very interesting.
We just said that we become very famous for doing some good things.
Yes.
2005, 2006 time.
See, based on the natal chart, that is 2005 December till 2007 January. That year has intersection with 2 annual charts. So the second annual chart that we saw, it doesn't show anything like that.
Okay. So that means the good thing that will happen by the first 6 months of the
Next year.
calendar 2000.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
A9 to 12 was bad for the luck in the Dashamsha chart.
For me?
The A9 is in 12
Yeah.
in the Dashamsha chart. Bad, his luck is going to be bad this year.
A9 is in 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, one second.
Yeah. In the Dashamsha.
A9, A10, A4, all of them are in the 12th house.
Yeah.
But what does it show? A9 and A10, what do they show? Their conjunction is always a good thing.
Career is what? Having that money.
This is the tangible work that he does, and the tangible fortune that he enjoys, and the tangible happiness that he has. So all of them are in the 12th house. Well, finished or not, let's take it easy. They are all together. So their destinies are interconnected. And usually their being together in a sign is a Raj Yoga. And who's in that house? Jupiter. Jupiter is in one house. So, and the Jupiter is very well placed. Though 12th house is considered bad, 12th house with 12th Lord in it is actually very auspicious. So all the A9, A10, A4 being there and being with Jupiter actually does indicate to me that during Jupiter Dasha, something that's very fortunate may happen, and he may...
Sorry. Speaking of Jupiter being placed in that house,
Yeah.
in the Dashamsha,
Yeah.
here. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
You put it in the parentheses.
Yeah. He's retrograde.
Does that have a negative effect on Jupiter?
Any planet who is in retrogression, what it shows is there is a strong desire that he is trying to fulfill. So that means something that the planet wanted to give in the past, maybe past years or past life, he could not give, and he wants to give during this year. So that means it will happen with lot of effort. It will not happen very easily. But bottom line is 12th Lord in 12th house is a good yoga. There is a name for that yoga, Vimala Yoga. So Jupiter being in Vimala Yoga with all those Arudhas is not that bad. And also from Arudha Lagna, he is in the 10th house. So it's actually not that bad. So I wouldn't think that this Jupiter will basically destroy him or something. I do think that as a good placement. But this period still happens in the previous. So actually timing is difficult. I don't know exactly when. I can't time exactly when it will happen. Maybe Saturn Dasha, maybe 2007, February, March, maybe. But he will do something aggressive during this particular year. That is very clear. That is very, very likely.
The Venus is the 6th lord from the A5, that's a bad doctor.
Pardon me?
Venus is the 6th lord from A5, and that's a bad period.
Right.
That's
Now, if you want to see popularity rating,
yes,
that's what you are trying to see. If you want to see popularity rating, what should you see?
A5.
A5. We are not looking at 5th house is the followers. We are not looking at a particular followers from Sun or Moon or Mercury or Saturn. We are looking at following from all strata of the society. We are looking at following among religious people, among political people, among intelligent people, among skill people. We are looking at following across the board. So further you should be looking at A5. A5 or 6th Lord Arudha. Graha Arudha or Bhava Arudha. Graha Arudha will show the followers. If you want to see the following itself, how much following is there, good or bad, 50% or 30%. Further to see A5. Whereas if you want to see the intelligence behind that following, the people who are actually following, then the 5th Lord Arudha. So take A5, so that's what Ted is doing. The Dashamsa A5 is in the 8th house. If A5 is in 8th house, that is so follow good or bad. It can be good or bad. You have to see. But it shows that following is very volatile during this year, and also there are a lot of ups and downs. And is 8th house good or bad here? 8th house is occupied by its own Lord. It has an excellent Raj Yoga between Lagna Lord, 4th Lord and 5th Lord. So because of the Raj Yoga and because of the Sala Yoga in that house, 8th house is actually very auspicious here. It shows lot of fighting, lot of setbacks, but with lot of bravery, fight with those setbacks and achieve what you want to do. So that is, there is a lot of aggressive spirit in this particular year in George Bush. So A5 being there can actually show popularity suddenly rising because of the aggressive things that he does.
The moon is debilitated in this one.
Yes, moon is debilitated.
Have
Moon is debilitated, so he will not have any happiness. 4th Lord is debilitated in the 8th house. Absolutely no happiness. Happiness destroyed. He is a tense man. He is always shaking inside, not outside. Inside he is shaking. Man, why did I get into this? What is this? Like that he will be feeling. Because 4th Lord in 8th is bad, Moon in 8th is bad, here it is both. 4th Lord, Moon, Karaka for happiness. Moon is also in the 4th house. He is in debility. He is in Manakaraka Sthana. As far as his work is concerned, 8 o'clock I have to go to this meeting and I will be briefed. Oh man, what news I will hear. Like that he will be shaking from inside. But as far as people are concerned, as far as the outside people are concerned, they may perceive him as a great warrior because the debilitated moon is in the 6th from Arudha. He will be seen as a great warrior who is destroying all the evil in the world and creating the kingdom of God in the world or something like that. That is very much possible during this year. I am very afraid that during 2007 things will be very destabilized in the world, and that will leave the true George Bush legacy compared to whatever we have seen so far. The real legacy of George W. Bush may be coming in the next 2 years. Next year in a positive way because of some good moves in Israel or some other countries, and the year after that, lot of instability in the world. Probably Saturn Dasha is going to be a not so good Dasha. During Saturn Dasha there can be lot of aggressive development. But Jupiter Dasha there will be lot of Jupiter Dasha. Jupiter is in the 12th house. He will be more relaxed then. Until then he will be very tense. Pardon me? Saturn will be in the order.
There's no chance even cancer.
Right. Saturn will be in 2007. Shani and Ketu will be in the. There will be a Saturn Ketu conjunction in the Leo sign in 2007. But interesting thing would be, given that this year shows lot of aggressive things, how is the next year? Let's not go through it in detail. Go through it in detail. But quickly see how is 2007, 2008. Horalad is Shani. How is Saturn? Wow. Shani is in 27 degrees, Saturn is at 21 degrees. Okay. So in the Rashi chart, the Horalad Shani is a Yogakaraka. He is a Yogakaraka and he is in the 10th house. For Shani especially, 10th house or 1st house is Simhasana Yoga. So there is a nice yoga given by Shani himself as well as Shani Venus together. So there is a nice Raj Yoga, that is point number 1. Not only that, see which Karakas they are. Atmakaraka, Amartyakaraka. Saturn is Atmakaraka, Saturn is Atmakaraka, Venus is Amartyakaraka. They are together in the 10th house. So this is a glorious year. If you see the Dashamsha, how is Saturn? There is a Parivartana between Lagna and 12th Lord. So Lagna and 12th Lord, Parivartana doesn't show fighting wars, etc. It shows finishing the war, some kind of cleaning up and closure. So even though Jyothishya may be disliked during this particular year, he may actually embark on some big projects in the coming couple of years, and as a result of it, he may leave on a very good note. And if you see A5, the following during the coming year, A5, even though it is in the 3rd house, the Lord of A5, Jupiter, he is in Lagna, and he is in the 11th house from A5. So A5 is not really that bad. And from A5, Mars is very well placed in the 3rd house. So very likely, whatever we are seeing with respect to the popularity of George W. Bush today is short-term thing. He is probably going to overcome that. So good luck to him. With that, we will end for today. We will take up either Dick Cheney's chart, or maybe we should stop politics. We are doing too much politics. We should do normal astrology. We will come to Dick Cheney maybe in another month or so. So we will probably start a new topic and think about whatever we covered so far. If you have any questions, make sure that you remember them and ask me in the next class. Otherwise, we will move on to some other topic. Okay? Actually, it's a good idea to give you some homework. What we will do is, we will not discuss in the class, because if we discuss in the class, it will take away the whole class. But I will give you a homework, and I will try to comment on the work that you do on the homework. So send mails to the list, fjcposter@yahoo.com. Send a mail to the group after you do the homework, and then feel free to comment on other people's homework, but be gentle, be nice. Don't say that is nonsense. Be very gentle and try to comment on other people. Let's discuss on the Yahoo group also. And the homework will be, look at Dick Cheney and see if there is any legal problem or imprisonment possible in the next, probably not imprisonment, but any legal problems possible, because people close to him are getting in trouble. Is there a chance that Dick Cheney himself will get in trouble? Try to look at that, okay? Oh, you don't have it? Then I should give it. Actually, I can make that part of the homework, find his data. The data I have is, and I looked at it sometime back when I predicted that Bush will win the re-election. At the time I looked at it, basic things that I know about him make sense, so probably this is right. January 30, 1941, 7:30 p.m., 6 hours west of GMT, Lincoln, Nebraska. The longitude is 96 degrees, 40 minutes west, 40 degrees, 48 minutes north. Lincoln, Nebraska. 9640, 4048. If you type Lincoln, Nebraska, you will get it in the software. And the Lagna is 9 degrees, 53 minutes Leo, and Moon is at the fag end of Aquarius, just like me. Okay, with that I will end for today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yeah.